everybody! So today I have kind of an announcement for my channel, and that's that I'm starting a new series, Nothing Scary, and it's kind of inspired by music. So I'm gonna do a series based on artists because I don't want to get too specific with albums just yet anyway. If you want to see that, leave it in the comments below and maybe I'll change my mind. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun. I used to be a music journalist when I was younger, a little known fact. And I really loved it, and I would go to so many gigs and drive my poor parents crazy because I was still a pretty young teenager at the time. And I started my own zine, and the stories just get crazier from that point in. Those are things that I'll leave for another day. But right now, all that you need to know is that I am starting this series with a cocktail based on one of my favorite people of all time, especially in music history, and that is Nancy Sinatra. She is the embodiment of girl power and everything I love about 60s girl pop. So let's get on with the recipe. You are going to need a vanilla vodka. I'm using Stoli Vanil here. And you're also going to need a lemon vodka, and I'm using Ketel One Citroen. And finally, you're going to need a ginger liqueur, and I'm using Domaine De Canton. So when I was thinking about this recipe, I thought probably if you don't have a ginger liqueur, and if you are on a budget, you could probably make a fresh ginger simple syrup, and then once it's cool, you can add some extra vodka to it. Even though that Domaine De Canton is much more nuanced than that, really what I'm using it for is the bite. Finally, what you're gonna need are some fresh raspberries, like I have here. These are actually from my garden, and what I did was I sprinkled them with a bit of raw cane sugar, and then I sprayed them with Absolut 100. I did this to macerate the raspberries and kind of bring out the juices and plump them up a bit. So I'm going to leave those be while I start with the cocktail. I'm going to use a small cobbler shaker here because it's just a rough shake of a drink, so don't worry too much about having the right kind of shaker for it. It's really not that complicated. First thing you're going to need is 1 part vanilla vodka. We're building this drink dry as always, so you can control how fast it dilutes. And then 1 part of lemon vodka. I'm using a 1 ounce pour for each of these, but obviously do it in whatever measure that you need. This is a great one for a party because you could make actually more than one of these at a time. And then just a half a part of Domaine De Canton or your ginger liqueur of choice. And that's actually it as far as ingredients go for this bit. And now I'm just going to fill my shaker with ice. And now the fun part, gotta shake it. And a nice strong frost has developed now. Alright, so this is ready. I'm just going to take my chilled glass. This is a Sog Form glass. I think it's quite 60s and appropriate. You can actually see more about all of my glassware, or at least a big portion of it, in my cocktail glass haul, which I will link in the down bar. Now to strain. So to dress this drink, all you're going to do are take your raspberries that you've had with a bit of sugar and vodka to kind of pump them up and put them on a little cocktail stick. The ones I have happen to look like this, and they're stainless steel. And I think that for the couple bucks it's worth investing in because it looks a hell of a lot better than using plastic, in my personal opinion. I'm going to take 3, plop them on. This isn't overly fancy, but it is my answer to kind of how you would dress a gin martini. So I thought it was kind of clever and cute and a little bit feminine. And there you have it, the Nancy Sinatra. Alright, and now to taste. This is really, really pleasant, I have to say. This happens to be one of those drinks that I just streamed up and I didn't even test before I filmed this. But the flavors work really well together. The vanilla and lemon work in really nice harmony together. The ginger liqueur adds a little bit of bite, but nothing too overwhelming because it still is a bit sweet, and it complements the vodkas quite nicely, and it kind of acts like a vermouth in this martini, if you want to call it that, though it's still definitely a cocktail. It all works quite beautifully together, adds a bit of smoothness to the palate, and finally you do actually get a bit of that sweet tartness from the raspberries just because they have had a little bit of time to macerate, so when I put them into the cocktail they start to release a bit of their flavor immediately. I hope some of you try this out. Let me know what you think of it. On the off chance that Nancy ever sees this, I really do hope you enjoy and that you wouldn't turn your nose up at sipping one of these maybe. And I will see all of you soon. Cheers.
You smart Alec Tomcat, you.